Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Gods of Destruction Unite 3, the final of the new Gods of Destruction stages that have come to DBZ Dokkan Battle. Now, in this one, you are facing Iwane, you are facing Iraq, you are facing Liquor, and you are facing Gin. And basically you need to defeat these bosses. They are obviously adaptations, at least for the most part, on their original boss designs, which a lot of players will remember because of course I think they all essentially were, bosses. Well, they were all definitely bosses, but I mean they were all bosses, and these are kind of like adaptations on those original boss fights when the Gods of Destruction event first came out. Obviously some of them have been adapted a little bit differently per se, but I think the concept is pretty much fundamentally the same in terms of functionality. So yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the bosses and take it from there. So we have Iwane. Now he hits about 630k when it comes to normals. He has a 1.8, 1.7 million super. Then he has immunity to being stunned, sealed, attack, lowered, etc, etc. The usual story. And then of course he has his attack and defense raised on the 4th turn from his entry. So if you are facing him, it's super important to beat him within the first 4 turns. If you don't, things become dramatically harder for you, which obviously to a certain extent you want to avoid. He can also potentially evade your super attacks, only really around 7%, so nothing too crazy there. But yeah, I would say it's definitely, how can I say, it's definitely challenging. I think for sure. I think of course, for most players it's always going to be something that's relatively challenging, but I do think, like, for me, all things considered, not too bad. Then we move on to Iraq. So Iraq is the second boss. He is in type. He gets an additional attack and defense boost when his HP is below 50%. He's a little bit stronger than Iwane, but nothing too crazy. So he's a little bit more challenging, but not anything that's insanely difficult. Just something that's relatively manageable, but nothing that's absolutely unacceptably strong. So you should be able to handle it relatively easily. Then we have Liquor. So with Liquor, he is again a little bit tougher than Iraq, but kind of in the same ballpark. The big thing with Liquor is that he gets plus 20% attack with each turn passed, up to 100%, and defense goes up with each turn passed, up to 100% as well. He also disables evasion and has attacks guaranteed to hit, which is obviously something that can be quite a big problem depending on functionally your team and everything like that. So it is definitely a slight problem depending on your team, how dependent you are to evasion. Of course that can be disabled if you use units like the Tech MUI Goku, who have the ability to nullify disable evasion disabling effects. So he disables. But yeah. Then we have Gin. So Gin gets plus 5% attack with each attack received, and plus 15% defense with each attack received, which is pretty big. He also has a domain effect, which ultimately boosts his attack a little bit, which is also something that's a bit of a problem. So yeah, Gin can be quite actually not cool. Like, he can be pretty tough to deal with. I will say he also scales his damage up really quickly, and yeah, he can be quite a bit of a challenge. So obviously you do want to consider the fact that your team is at least at its relative strongest at that point, but it is of course still challenging. It's not like it's distinctly super duper easy or anything. It is still a challenge for the most part. Now, to combat this stage specifically, I wanted to run superheroes, and the reason I wanted to run superheroes is mainly just to try out different things. I think we used the movie bosses, then we used the reps like the Universal Survival Saga team, and now I just kind of wanted to use the concept of the superheroes team, specifically focusing obviously on having actual superheroes. So like units from that Dragon Ball Superheroes movie, and the non kind of like USS variation of heroes. Of course, it's just going to depend on your box, but generally speaking, there's quite a few teams I think that can handle this level of difficulty of event. Not saying that it's impossible or anything, but I think there's quite a few strong teams that just traditionally will be able to handle this event, and you should be able to enjoy using them, basically, to cut a long story short. I think for me, when it comes to like the top teams in the game, movie bosses, Exploding Rage, superheroes, USS, all those spring to mind, and tend to be the teams that I'm like, okay, that's definitely one of the top teams in the game. That's definitely one of the best teams in the game. Things like that, I think, is definitely something that I, probably would consider to be like the primary focus. Of course, when we're talking about superheroes, I think Beast Gohan definitely springs to mind. We have the Int, Gamma 1, Gamma 2, also definitely springs to mind. We have the physical Beast Gohan, or Ultimate Gohan I should say, unit that everyone gave a lot of flack, but I think, at least for me now, especially with the kind of like shift to like Beast Gohan being in the team and being such a crucial focal point, I think the fact that he links up so well with Ultimate Gohan really makes the two of them a fun pairing, and he gives him that extra defense that I think he obviously needs. And I personally think they're a hell of a combination, so you won't see me complaining too much about them or anything like that. Then we have the USS combo. So we have like the AGL Goku with the Int Vegeta, and this is just a great combo. The EZAs are really still amazingly designed. I think the way they designed them, I think the way they incorporated them, I think the way they built them is just so good, and I think it just makes everything function really, really smoothly, and I think made it function really, really well. So that whole thing was amazing. And then we have the AGL 17, sorry, the AGL 18 and Krillin, who's just like one of those good support style units that I think helps to elevate the team and keep it functioning at a good high level, which I think you need. Like, I think you need those kind of casual units who aren't being catered to, who are just facilitating the team. But good team, good run, everything ran smoothly, and that's pretty much it for me. So let me know what you think, and bye.